Hello. I had something interesting happen to me this week. So my two oldest boys happen to be enrolled in middle school this year. It's our first year in middle school, and it's quite different from grade school. So this week happens to be our 2-week Power School checkup. On Wednesday afternoon, I was sitting in my office, and my husband had chosen to go get the kids so I could finish working on my assignments. As the door closes on the cars and the kids come running in, I can hear both boys sobbing and bawling. And so I position my chair so that they can come running straight into my office. As they come in, they are followed soon by their father, who informs me that both boys have received 2 F's on their grade reports, which has been unacceptable. So I'm sitting there watching my two boys who are completely breaking down. And the interesting thing is they broke down in two very separate ways. My oldest one, he had decided that it was Dad's fault. It was Dad's fault that he was crying, and it was Dad's fault that he was so upset because he had had a difficult day at school. And so when he presented his report card to Dad, and Dad got upset because of the report card, that it was Dad's fault that he was in such a bad mood. So the boys had hurt him all day, and the lunch lady had served fish and chips, which was disgusting and gross, and the teachers hadn't given him his correct assignments, and everything was somebody else's fault. Now I turn to my second son, who handled it quite differently. Everything was his fault. He was stupid, and he couldn't do anything right. And school was too difficult for him, and he wasn't going to be able to handle it, and all of this was because he was dumb. Which is interesting because my second child happens to be the most intelligent in our home. But what was so interesting about all of this was the way they handled it. The way they handled the fact that they had failed on something. And that this is how we all handle when we have something happen to us. If we haven't done it correct, it's either somebody else's fault and we lash out at others, or it happens to be all of our fault because we're unintelligent. After discussing this pretty heavily with the boys, we decided that we would take notebooks and head back to school and talk with the teachers and ask the teachers what we could do to make things right. They soon found that communicating with their teachers and asking what they could do better increased their grade. And it also helped them understand what they were doing wrong so they could do it better in the future. The point of the story really is that failure is not the end. It only is if you let it be. Failure is only the opportunity to begin again, only this time more wisely.